Ugam Darodi Langayate Girim Vitkrupa Tamaham Bandi
No.
Yes.
This is different.
Here you will see that we are in the Ajamila Upakyanam. Ajamila was not a devotee of Bhagavan at all.
Jnana Mandir, okay.
And he was given to all sorts of improper conduct, and which is all against what people who are in family life, or people who are, in general, human beings should not be taken up to. And he had a good starting in his life, but then there was a steep fall, as we saw the story here. But then now is the time when he is physically no more, or he's about to leave his body. And then he ends up calling his last son out of fear. And his last son's name happens to be Narayana. Hey Narayana, hey Narayana, like that. So that didn't matter for the Yama Kinkaras, or the servants of Yama who were there. And according to their rule books, he has to experience all sorts of Naraka. So they were ready to take him. And then right away there, Vishnu's Parshadas also landed. And they were also, going to take him, ready to take him to Vaikuntha Vishnu Loka, or at least prevent this Yama Kinkaras from taking Ajamila away. And there was an argument. There's a discussion going on. The Yama Kinkaras were presenting their points so nicely, according to Shastra. They knew the Shastra entirely. And they also knew all the nooks and corners of Ajamila's life. That also we saw. They could bring out all those things which he did good, and which he also did, which was a lot of, which was errors and mistakes and all that, right? So now our Vishnu Parshadas turn to give out their argument. And right away we saw on the 8th shloka last week, which is right in front of you. This is the 6th canto and the 2nd chapter in the 8th shloka. The way I do this class is just to read the shloka and then bring out the meaning and then keep moving like that. So, so I'm going to read the 8th shloka one more time. Ete naiva hyago no sya Krutam syadaganishkrutam yada narayana yeti jagad chaturaksharam. When we invoke the 4 aksharas, 4 syllables, Vishnu's Parshadas, Vishnu's companions are saying this, comrades are saying this. When Ajamila invoked the 4 names, 4 syllables, not even names, Narayana. When he invoked these 4 syllables, Narayana, that means was Eteneva he aganaha asya kritam. Whatever he had done so far, all the papas, syad aganish kritam, has been neutralized. Hey Yama Kinkaras, don't you know this? In the sense, if you don't know this or if you don't follow this, the Vishnu Parshadas were saying in the previous shlokas that you are deceiving, deceiving the Astikas, you are deceiving the devotees of the Lord, you are deceiving the Vaidikas, you are deceiving whoever has got Shraddha in the rules of the Vedas. When you go against this particular rule, that once you take Bhagavan's name, all the papas are cleansed. So just exactly the 4 Narayana, which means what? Just that 4 syllables. And we will see that even 1 syllable is good enough, like Ra of Rama. All the Mahimas of the Nama will all come out very logically in the next few shlokas. We'll bring it out. Ninth shloka. Stena surapo mitra. Stena surapo mitra. Mitra grid druga. Brahmana gurutal pagah Sri Raja Pidrigo Hanta Ye Chapata Kino Pare Stenaha. Hey, Yamas Kinkaras, you know better. Stenaha, one who is a thief. Surapaha, one who is a drunkard, is given to drinking, which means what? Everything goes. All the evils of losing your mind and doing all sorts of things goes along with it. That is why they say drive sober, right? You cannot afford DUI. You cannot afford it. They say that they all want because all other mistakes go along with that. Mitra Grid Dhriga, who is deceiving his own friend, who is breaking friend's trust. The friend is so trusting you, and then you break his trust in so many different ways. Brahmaha, one who is killing a Brahmana. Guru Talpaga, even if one is a drogi to his own guru, in a way that he is coveting the guru's wife. It's all the problems of Kali Yuga. Guru's wife, if somebody is coveting, even that kind of a papi, that kind of a one who has committed that kind of a mistake. Stri, Raja, Pitre, Gohanta, one who is killing a woman or the king, not king in a battlefield. Sometimes they kill the king in their own family sometimes by giving poison and all that, because somebody else, extended family, and somebody else is jealous of him or want their child to become the next in line and all that, right? So killing a king like that. Pitru, father, go, cow, even if somebody has killed any one of these. Yejapata kinaha apare, even those kind of a papis. Sarveshamapyaghavatam idameva sunishkritam nama vyaharanam Vishnoho yatastadvishaya matihi sarveshamapi. Any kind of papi listed above, even out of the list, are outlaws, all sorts of outlaws. Eva sunishkritam, what is certain about that? Namakya haranam. So if they are taking to Vishnu Bhagavan's Nama Vyaharanam, if they are taking up to the name of Bhagavan, Vishnoho, Yatastad, right there, then and there, Yatastad Vishaya Matihi. Once they take the name, what happens is, the name also makes a change here. You see, the name is also one of the sounds, Shabda. When we all have an experience of saying something wrong and suffering the result of that, saying something out of anger, out of upset, out of jealousy, out of greed, you don't have to even act it out, but even saying sometimes will have a reaction from the affected party. And it sometimes catches you unprepared. You say something and you thought you got away. And after a month or a few weeks, you are in a position where you have to experience something similar from somebody else because they are waiting for an opportunity. So all these things we have experienced. So we know the power of saying something. So when saying something can have a negative power like this, then that means what? Saying the right thing can have a positive influence also, can have a power in that sense also. So that is the power of chanting Bhagavan's names, right? Nama Vyaharanam. So Nama Vyaharanam means what? It is all, Vyaharanam means, it is all going with the word Vyakaranam and grammar and all that. Here it doesn't mean that. Even if you don't know the meaning, it works. Even if you don't have a real purpose of chanting, it works. All that we'll see. Because once you take the name, which is like a computer code, you press the execute button and it executes. That is my example. So once you take up the name, what happens is the name kind of cleanses your heart. It replaces all the other thoughts with this name. Like suppose if you go in India, if you see government buildings, now it's election time in Tamil Nadu, Bihar, and all those states. But the government buildings, they will put a very clear sign: stick no bills. Don't put any posters here for your neta, leader. You will be prosecuted. Stick no bills. Stick no bills. Bills like that. Then what happens is, because of that one sticker, stick no bills, because of that one statement, it is keeping all the posters away from the wall. The wall is clean. The wall is available with the right painting and all that. So what I'm trying to say is, likewise, taking Bhagavan's one name, can be any name, Shankara, Shiva, Narayana, taking Bhagavan's name. It can be many names also, by the way. We'll see the reason for many names. What happens is, it can keep all the other thoughts away. Like the example I said, stick no bills, all the other thoughts away. So slowly what happens is, steadily, there's a tanmaya, there's a oneness between your thoughts and the names of the Lord. That oneness will bring a tremendous change. Means what? There's no more scope of any papa. And technically that name taking will remove all the papas of the past also. So your job is done. न निष्कृतैरुदितैर्ब्रह्म न निष्कृतैरुदितैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः तथा विशुद्ध्यत्यघवान् प्रदादिभिः यथा हरेर्नाम पदैरुदाहृतैः तदुत्तमश्लोक गुणोपलम्भकम्. Right. Any kinds of papa, it can be any kinds of mistakes and errors and so-called sins and all that. For everything, there's a prayaschitta. Our ancestors are so compassionate and so caring and so concerning, and they have so much of regards for your time and effort and all that. They know you'll be trying your best, but still, in spite of your effort, things can go wrong. So they have listed a lot of prayaschitta. Kritra, Chandrayana, all those Vaidika prayashittas, vratas and all that, Ekadashi and all those vratas also. Vratas means all those disciplines, all those austerities. So in spite of all that, what is the effect of those neutralizing karmas? Apart from, we're not talking about Nama Japa, we're comparing Nama Japa, okay? So the power of those neutralizing karmas is, the power of those neutralizing karma is, they might have an effect because they are from the Shastras. You have to give credit for them. We cannot say Nama Japa is only relevant. Some people don't have the idea and they do all these things. They say, then you have to say technically how it is. You have to compare and contrast without putting down the other thing to that level, without putting down to that level where you sound like a Nastika. Okay. So what is the contrast is, they can remove all your papas of the past, given the benefit of doubt. But then the heart is there, which has not undergone that kind of a cleansing with the names of the Lord. Because when you bring the names of the Lord, what comes along with that? The names, with all the qualities, all the greatness. You say Krishna, you say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then you slowly think of Krishna Bhagavan's glories, right from Gita Krishna, Bala Krishna, Taruna Krishna, young Krishna, baby Krishna, older Krishna, one who was 87 years old when he was giving the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Don't think Arjuna was any younger. He was also 87. Okay? They both are equal ages. So all the glories of Krishna comes to you by just taking that one name, slowly and steadily. They all come. Radha Krishna, Gopi Krishna, right? Krishna, Putana, one who had done the Vada of Putana, like that. So, like with all the gunas of Bhagavan in the form of all the stories and glories, they come to your heart. So, that kind of a change, these vratas cannot bring. All right? Naikandikam, because that kind of a change is required, so your heart is, available for doing good karma. Otherwise, the heart is not prepared yet. So that means what? There's a pitfall of going back and doing something wrong again. So when that is happening, then again you have to do all this tough vratas and all that. So there's no end to this cycle, right? So that is the logic here. Naikantikam taddikrito kritepi nishkrite manah punardhavati cheda tadpathe tatkarma nirharam abhipsatam harehe gunanuvada kalu sattva bhavaha. Na ekantikam tad hi krite api nishkrite manah punah dhavati. Mind again goes back to its wrong ways. People sometimes do some big yaga. And right after the yaga, they want to sit back and relax, which is good. But the yaga is all taking so much of effort. And when they want to relax, what they do, even if they are priests sometimes, they want to, let us see what's going on. Let us put the latest movie, which is all not bad, by the way, movie watching is all okay. What I'm trying to say is, punar davati, again, mind goes away. It feels it has accomplished something to the point it feels so relaxed, the unconscious in the mind is out and pushes this person to commit some kind of a mistake, which was why he did the prashit in the first place. Tatkarma nirharam abhipsatam harehe gunanavadaha. Gunanavadaha is the word, which is what I was explaining, what happens when the nama goes into your heart, how it replaces everything else. And along with the nama, all the glories of Bhagavan. So that means what? When you want to think of glories, you can think of different names. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Shankara, 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 Shankara. Sham karoti, idi Shankara. Sham means Kalyanam Mangalam. One who does Mangalam Kalyanam for you is Shankara. So Shankara, 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 Hara Hara Shankara, Jaya Jaya Shankara, Shankara, Shankara. So all these words, Shiva is waiting to do good for you. He has given everything for you and is still waiting. So that kind of all those bhavas come to your heart. It can be one name, it can be several names. So I have to say that because some people say you have to call Bhagavan only by this name. All these mathas are there, right? All these different, not just viewpoints, cults are there. So we want to be free from those cults because we are Vaidikas, we are given to Vedas, we have to appreciate all the Devatas in the Vedas and taking some names. Sunday, Surya Bhagavan. Monday, Chandra Bhagavan. Chandra Bhagavan, Soma hai. Soma is Adipati. Who is having Soma in his crescent in his forehead? Palavanamrat Kiritam, Palanetra Chishadagda Pancheshu Kitam. Shiva. Wednesday, Monday. Then Tuesday, Mangalamurti. Yeah, in the north, Ganesha or Hanuman, the south, Parvati, Devi, Mataji. Wednesday, you can take the name because people ask me, I want some variety. That is also, it's a very genuine request because our mind is so capable. So don't underestimate the mind. All right. So Wednesday, Vishnu Bhagavan, Narayan, 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 Hari, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Wednesday. Thursday, Guru, Dakshinamurti, right? Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Guru in the form of, Bhagavan Sri Krishna also, Gita Krishna is your Guru, Jagat Guru. Like that, with that bhava. Friday, Mataji, Mahalakshmi, all sorts of Lakshmi, all sorts of Aishwarya. Very important day, Friday for mother. Saturday, so who is the Adidevata for Shani Bhagavan? Shani Bhagavan's Adidevata is actually Chitragupta Niyama and Yama is reporting to Shiva, or Shani Bhagavan himself is a great bhakta of Mahavishnu. So you can take any either, fine. So likewise, have some reason and then stick to it. So this kind of sattva bhavaha, then your mind becomes sattva bhavaha. That is very important. So this change of bringing more sattva to your heart, replacing your extreme sense of what is pleasing and displeasing with the names, you will accomplish, right? Atainam ma panayata krita sesha ghanishkritam yadasau bhagavan nama mriyamana samagrahit ata enam ma panayata. Don't take away Ajamila to Yamaloka to Naraka. Asesha Ganishkritam, because all is Krita, all his papas are all cleansed. No more, he doesn't have to do any more prayaschitta other than he has taken the name of Bhagavan. Yadasau Bhagavan Nama Mriyamana, and that too at the time of death. Now we have to talk about that a little bit. Samagrahit. That doesn't mean that people now have a new stress. What is that? Would I be able to take the name of Bhagavan at the time of, during the last breath and all that? It is very next to impossible, very difficult. Only some people can do that. I saw Swami Pratyagatma do that during his last breath. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram. When they say, Mahatma Gandhi also took Bhagavan's name, He Ram, like that. Many other Mahatmas might have done, but we only know a few like that. So it is going to be very difficult. So here Akhandanji and other Mahatmas are very much clarifying it is not just about being able to take the name of the Bhagavan at the end. That is not the Tatparya. That is not the message from the Ajamila story or any story from even Bhagavad Gita. So what is the message is, because some people say that we should be able to take Bhagavan's name at the end. And you have that stress. You have that new stress. Not new stress. So that the point is, and then they also say, you keep practicing from now on. So at the time of, towards the end, you will be able to say and all that. That is also not a great advice. You all hear this. So I'm just, saying something more than that, right? It's good to hear something more than what you have always kept hearing. So the point here is, you take Bhagavan's name any time. In reality, taking Bhagavan's name any time is good enough. If you take Bhagavan's name now, so that is the logic here. That is what they're presenting here. They're not saying, they're saying the Bhagavan's name is so powerful that you take any time, it's going to cleanse all your papas. Say Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram now, all your papas are gone. I just said, so all my papas are gone. Right away. You also say, and all your papas will be gone. Now, you also said before. But what has happened in the meantime between between when you said last time and between when you said this time, in between all those papas, those are the ones which has been taken care of by saying Bhagavan's name now. And now I have said Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram. What about my rest of my life? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and in the further in the future, again this person might commit some mistakes. So what is the prayaschitta for that? So because of this reason, take Bhagavan's name every day. You see that? This is the only reason. So which means what? Today you take Bhagavan's name, tomorrow you take, every day you take Bhagavan's name, all the papas are neutralized, and you take more and more names so that you don't even have time to commit any mistake with your words and deeds and all that. And that is the logic. The logic is take Bhagavan's name, all your papas are cleared. But then if you don't take it again, then use whatever papa you accumulate, that is not cleared. The simple logic, okay? So that means you're putting more power on the Bhagavan's Nama Mahima, chanting of name. If you say I have to keep chanting and practicing so that at the end, I should be able to say, then that means you are reducing the power of the Nama, by the way. See how the logic has to be maintained all through. Sanketyam parihasyam va sthobham helanameva va vaikuntanama grahanam aseshaghaharam viduhu. Take Bhagavan's name, Sanketam, for a different reason. Some people take Bhagavan's name to even curse. They say, he's a Narada, they say. Okay, Narada is also Bhagavan's name. Which means what? They're making a fun of that person. He has got the capacity to create conflicts. So that person is called Narada. He's a Chanakya, they say. And sometimes they see at some woman, and if she is given to anger and all, they say, hey, she's a Bhadra Kali. They say she's a Bhadra Kali. She's a Kali. Oh, Durga, she becomes Ma Durga. You don't go near her. She's very sensitive about this matter. So what I'm trying to say is, even when you take Bhagavan's name for that kind of a purpose, parihasyam, sometimes to make fun of somebody. Somebody's name is some name, and then you make fun out of that name. Oh, your name is what is that? Purna, or your name Purna is also Bhagavan's name, and then are you the poor and holy? And if you make all those kind of comments also, but you're taken Bhagavan's name. Stovam heranam eva. Stova means just out of some interest. Wow, some singing, for a different purpose. Heranam, to put somebody down also, if you take Bhagavan's name, even then, according to the experts, Vaikunta Nama Grahanam Asesha Agaharam. Agaharam, Asesha Agaharam. All your papas will be over. And then Vaikunta Prapti is guaranteed. Abode of the Lord is guaranteed for you, according to experts. Vidu. Patitas Khalito Magnah Sandashastaptahah Harivityavaseshana Shenah Humanarhati Yatanam. Suppose if you are falling physically and then, oh, hey Ram, you say, if you get into a bus and your head hits the roof and you feel the pain, hey Ram, Skalitaha, right? Suppose your foot is slipping because you're going to have snow very soon in the entire USA, half of the USA. So there'll be snow. I don't know if there is snow, how much snow in Vancouver and all those places. So, but then if you have snow, then it slides. And then also if you take Bhagavan's name just for that. Bhagnaha, some kind of a pain, you're taking Bhagavan's name. And the Sandashtaha, okay? Say, suppose if you are bitten by some mosquito bite and whatnot, snake bite and whatnot, mosquito bite, say Bhagavan's name. Taptahataha. Any kind of a difficulty, even then when you take Bhagavan's name, not because of your regard for Bhagavan, more because you have your samskara, okay? Ram Ram, Ram Ram, like that. Harityavased Shenah Uman Narhati Yatanam. Harihi, if you say Harihi, here in the shloka, Harihi, the name Harihi, then you will not go to any kind of naraka. Gurunam cha laghunam cha guruni cha laghuni cha guruni cha laghuni cha prayaschittani papanam jnatvoktani maharshibihi. So still the Yamakinkaras are listening to the Parshadas. They have not decided to go with what they are saying, but they are very patiently listening. And Ajamila is there, experiencing the whole discussion. So in our Shastra, it is told that different Prayashchitas are told for different neutralizing karmas, different neutralizing good actions have been told for different types of errors and mistakes, demerits, and whatnot we commit, right? That is all true. Taistan yagahani puyante tapodhana japadibihi na dharmajam tad Hrudayam Tadapi Shangri Sevaya. So again, going back to the same point, you can have tapaha, lot of penance and austerities and disciplines, dana, charity, and sometimes there's some japa also. Here they're talking about japa means, some kind of giving to chanting and all that. Veda mantras, Veda mantras. They're all good. They're all great. But then what really cleanses you is hridayam. In your heart, the cleansing happens when you are taking up to the propitiating the Lord through his names. Vardhaya. Strengthen the name by just keep chanting again and again of Ishvara, Bhagavan, Narayana, Paramatma. Because that can, as I said, go and replace everything else, the same logic which I mentioned before, and make the heart more sattva. So that way there is no scope for future papa. And the past papa already taken care of. Ajnanad athava jnanad. Now the logic is given. Uttama shloka namayat. Nice examples. Sankirtita magam pumsah dahe dekho yatha nalah. Dehe dahe degah yata analah. Even if someone doesn't know, he sees a nice bright thing, he doesn't know it's fire because it is in a certain color, rose pink color. So you have seen blue flame, we have seen a yellow flame. This is something very pink. He doesn't know it is fire. So without knowing also, if he puts his finger, it's going to burn him. So same logic applies. Without knowing the meaning of the name, without having really the purpose of chanting. Because one big logic here is even may it be name of Narayana, but logically what's happening? When this Ajamila is saying Narayana, he is definitely, certainly not calling Bhagavan Narayana. Very clearly is calling his son. The Vivaksha, the purpose of his saying Narayana is to address his son, not Bhagavan Narayana. So, according to this logic, he should not get the result. But Bhagavan says one thing, very interesting, listen to this. Hey, he may not know that it is my name also. But who is saying? Bhagavan is saying, this fellow may not know that it is my name also. But I know it is my name. I know this whole namakarana of giving somebody's name as Narayana, Surya Narayana, Satya Narayana, Adi Narayana. All this is because of original patent is my name. I have the original name. So he may not know it is Bhagavan's name, but I know it is my name. So I have to do something about it. Right? So that is the logic there. So even knowing around yatagadam viryatamam upayuktam yadruchaya ajanatopi atmagunam Puryan mantropyudahritah. Suppose in a positive example, suppose if someone drinks amrita, right? You didn't know in your cup of coffee, a one drop of amrita nectar falls. You didn't know that actually. And you drink your coffee thinking it's coffee. Now, will that amrita have effort on, will that nectar have effect on you or no? You tell me. Just because it is coffee, just because the cup is not very clean, just because you're doing juta, you're taking the cup and drinking, putting in your mouth, it is contacting your saliva, whatever may be the reason. Because it is amrita, it has to work. What is amrita if it is going to be, stopping to work for these flimsy reasons? Amrita has to be more powerful than any of these reasons. So that is how the Nama works. So all these things in between, all the nice logics given, whatever I'm displaying, and I'm just saying it to you in a nutshell so you can appreciate it. Now Shuka Uvacha. So what really happened? Now the discussion is complete. Shuka is addressing Parikshit and saying what was the end result. Did Ajamila survive death, and did Ajamila survive going to Naraka? See the answer. तयेवं सुनिर्णीत धर्मं भागवतं नृप तं यां यपाशान् निर्मुच्य विप्रं मृत्योरमुचुचन्. Having patiently listened to Vishnu's servants, the Yamakinkaras gave up. They were very appreciative. They recognized the merit of what they were saying. They released Ajamila from the noose they had tied around him. And they said, okay, this fellow is now free from going to Naraka. Iti pratyudita yamya duta yatva yamantike. Now they have to go and report to their boss, Yamaraja. Yamarajñe yata sarvam. We have to see if the boss is happy. That is when you are happy. Sarvabhaga chakshurarindama. They went and also narrated the whole thing to their boss. Yamaraja, this is what happened. Let us know if we did something right or not. And Yama is not somebody who is insecure, because people who are insecure, they try to, exert some control. Yama was not that kind of a boss. He can let Ajamila go, but there are thousands of others who he can take care of. He was not worried about this. He said, okay, no problem. He was also appreciating what his servants did. Bala, bala. Very nice. You did the right thing. Don't worry. You didn't fall from conducting your duties like that. Yama was appreciating. Dvijapasha vinirmuktah gatavi prakritim gatah. What happened to Ajamila now? Let us see. Because everybody stops the story at that point. But let us see the rest of the story. Pavande Shirasa Vishnoho Kinkaran Darshanotsalah. Ajamila was so mesmerized. What is happening in front of me? I cannot believe my eyes. He was unable to believe. Suddenly all his fear is gone. Big relief. And all his disease, old age was also gone. Vavande, he was doing Vandana with his head Shirasa to Vishnu's. You can do Vandana several times. You can do Vandana in many ways. Ashtanga, Urasa Shirasa Chaiva, Manasa Vapusha Gira, Urasa Shirasa Chaiva. Manasa Babusha Gira, Padvyam, Janubhyam, Karabhyam. With your hands you can do Namaskara. With your feet you can do Namaskara. With your head, with your chest, with your arms, with your knees, with your words. There are 8 different types of doing Namaskara. All of them you can do in one Namaskara also. That is called Ashtanga Namaskara. Or even if you take one, that is good. Because some people cannot do Ashtanga Namaskara. They find it difficult. And for women, they say Panchanga. 5 limbs are good if it touches the floor. Tam vivakshum abhipretya mahapurusha kinkaraha sahasa pashyatastasya tatrantardadhire naga. And he wants to say something to the Vishnu Parshadas. And he has no samskara. What will he say? He was just looking and blinking, wanting to say something. His heart wants to say something. But before he can decide anything, they disappeared. Vishnu Parshadas, they had done their job and they disappeared. They were not waiting to hear the word, thank you so much, and all that. Ajamilopyatha karnya duta nam yama krishna yoho dharmam bhagavatam shuddham nai traividyam cha gunashrayam. In just that one conversation between Yama's servants and Vishnu's servants, Ajamila got so much information. He had so much of knowledge. From the Yamas, Kinkaras, he had the knowledge of the entire Vedas, all the Shastras. And from the Vishnu, the message of the Shastras, the Tatparya, the Tattva. And from Vishnu's servants, he got all the glories of devotion, all that. He was so convinced about both. Look, they're not putting one against the other. He was convinced about both. So well, right? Bhaktiman Bhagavat Syashu Mahatmya Shravanat Harehe Anutapo Mahanasi Smarato Shubhamatmanah. Bhaktiman Bhagavati Ashu, right away in no time, so effortlessly became a devotee of the Lord. We may call yourself, people may call themselves devotees because they are doing this, that, and whatnot. But then devotee means you have to be clear about the object of devotion. Then only you are a true devotee or a firm devotee. The devotee which you want to be. When you know the object of devotion very clearly. Because you're the subject and you want to be a devotee and your object of devotion is Bhagavan. Is it clear? Is Bhagavan clear to you? Is Bhagavan real to you? Then you're a devotee. Here, because so that means what? It is not easy to call yourself a devotee in this sense. Ajamila could accomplish that because of the blessings of all the conversation, all the satsanga which happened in front of his eyes. Like you're all attending this satsang. So 2-3 more slokas we'll see and conclude, okay? Aho me paramam kashtam. So first thing he's saying is kashtam, aho, oh my Lord. Hey Bhagavan, kashtam. Because anutapa, in the previous sloka it says anutapaha. He started thinking about all his mistakes. The first thing when you know clearly what is right and when you know clearly what is wrong, the first thing comes to your heart is there's no choice but choosing only the right. But then this fellow thinks about his past, how many mistakes I have done. That makes him feel so regretful, pashyatap. He feels so remorseful. Kashtam abhud avijitatmanah. He's saying himself as a avijitatmanah. I'm one who has given to all sorts of letting my senses go after everything, totally disregarding what is right and wrong. Yena viplavitam brahma vishalyam jayatatmanah. To the point, who's saying, Ajamila is saying that he has indulged in having kids with even prostitutes. Going to prostitution is one thing, but no, having kids with them, not just one kid, several kids with them and all that. You can see how it all adds up. So, dingmam nigarhitam sadbihi dushkrutam kula kanjalam hitva balam satim yoham surabhama sati magam. He said, dig, fee upon me. Ajamila is saying, right? You know, he is cursing himself. Sadbihi towards Vigarhitam. I have insulted the Mahatmas. Who is saying? Ajamila is saying that he has insulted Mahatmas. Dushkrutam, he's saying he's done all sorts of wrong things. And Kula Kanjanam, he says he has brought disgrace to his own community. You know, when suppose a sadhu, supposed to be a sadhu, if you hear some news in the channel about that sadhu and they're exposing some scandal, they're exposing some scam, some illicit, some activities and all that by the sadhu, then you have a disregard for the entire community of sadhus for some time, unless you find another good sadhu and all that. Brahmanas also, priests, you have a certain regard for them, certain shraddha. And when you see them being sometimes so commercial for some small reasons and all that, you have suddenly it hits your mind. It affects you. So, though he says, Ajamila says, I have brought disgrace to my community, he says. Hitva, Balam, Mathati. I just took my real wife for granted. Such a nice person she was. He's saying that. And then given to drinking and all that. He took up to drinking and all that. He's recollecting all that. Vruddhavanatho pitarau nanya bandhu tapasvinau aho maya dhuna tyaktau akritagnyena nichavat. Ajamila is saying, he is not taking care of his parents. They had no help, they had no support. They brought Ajamila Paran Poshan. They gave everything to Ajamila, but in return he gave nothing, no service, no support. Maya Aduna, I have just, given them all sorts of trouble on the top. I have also given them pain and all whatnot. Soham yaktam patishyami narake brushadarune dharmagna kamino yatra vindanti yamayatanaha sahaham. He is not remembering everything. He is saying, now I deserve only naraka. Ajamila is saying that he deserves only hell. He is recollecting all his papas. See, look how this is a cycle. This is a process. You have to allow for this process. Some people, some people have some loss in their life. And then there's so much of sadness. You need some support. That person needs some support. At the same time, the support should allow the process, let them know that it is very natural to go through this process. Likewise, Ajamila naturally is going through this process. Now he has got nothing to worry about. So he's bringing out all his mistakes and thinking about them, and is so remorseful. He's so repenting about all of those things. To the point he's saying he only deserves Naraka. And he doesn't know that he has escaped from Naraka. Right? So that kind of memory is going to come. Kimidam swapna ahosvit sakshat drishtamihad bhutam. What did I see? Suddenly he's recollecting what he saw in front of him. Is it real or is it real? Is it for real that I escaped Papa and all that? So likewise, he's going to start thinking about his experience. So he has been thinking about the past, and he's starting thinking about his real experience, which just recently occurred to him in the form of blessings and satsangs and whatnot. That we'll see when we come back next week, and we'll conclude this chapter when we come back next week. Hopefully, it depends on where I am, what I'm doing and all that. So, but I think we'll be able to almost finish this chapter next week. So we'll wait for Vidyul to play the Arati Shloka, which is a very short shloka, which is for 2 minutes, minute and a half. And then we'll catch up with all of you